Right then, pad thai. Absolutely love it, but I struggle to find somewhere around these parts that will deliver me a tasty bowl of it. So inevitably, when I do want it, I rustle it up at home, and this is the recipe that I use every single time. It's quick, it's easy, it's close to the original, but all the ingredients I can get from my local supermarket. So let's cook. Yes, mate. Pad Thai at home. So this is the shopping list that you are gonna need. So I've gone for chicken because I fancied chicken Pad Thai, but you can use pretty much anything you want. You can use tofu if you want to take it down to vegetarian levels. But you're gonna need an egg. You're gonna need garlic. You're gonna need spring onions. You're gonna need noodles. I've gone for this ready straight to cook noodles because I love these udon noodles. You're going to need some bean sprouts, onion. We're going to need a lemon for a marinade. We're going to need lime for the actual dish. We're going to need sesame oil to cook it in. Great flavour there. And then going into the sauce, you've got some soy sauce. We've got some fish sauce. We've got some tamari. We've got soft brown sugar. And then to garnish it at the end, we've got the peanuts, okay? So let's get cracking. So before we marinate the chicken, we're going to slice it nice and thin. So it's really nice and thin because it's going to cook quick. Then we have a little bit of lemon on it. Just sprinkle it over that and then leave that, for 15-20 minutes just to get familiar and start taking on that flavour. Now we're going to need to prepare the rest of the ingredients. Now this is the garnish, so just blitz up your peanuts so they are a fine crumb so that when you sprinkle them over the top, they're not too chunky, but they offer amazing, really, really nice texture, okay? So we've got our 2 onions here. We've got the regular onion, which we're going to fry and cook up in the main dish. And then we've got these spring onions, which we're going to cut off the ends, and then we're going to chop them up fancy on diagonal. Now I'm going to chuck these in the body of them towards the end of my pad thai, but if you like it for garnish, feel free, do both or one or the other. Do you know what I mean? So now we're going to make this pad thai sauce. Now the way that I make it, the way that I like it, is with the tamarind. So we'll put in a couple of teaspoons of this stuff. We'll follow that up with some soft brown sugar. So I've used a heaped teaspoon. You could go in with a second one if you want it a little bit more sweeter. But then we've got the fish sauce. Now this stuff, make sure you get it in the bowl and don't get it anywhere else because it might leave a bit of a pong around the gaff, okay? So a couple of squeezes of that and then follow it up with some soy sauce tamari I've got here and a little bit more of that. Then we'll go for the lemon, not crucially necessary, but a little bit adds to the tanginess of the overall dish. Okay, so make sure you mix that all together so it's all as one before you start cooking, which is what we're doing now. As I said, it's all about the preparation. The cooking really doesn't take too long. So throw in your sesame oil. You'll be able to smell it straight away. It smells so damn good, sesame oil. I love using it. So cook your onions till they're translucent. They've started to release those sugars. Start, really getting a bit of flavor. You don't need to caramelize them or burn them. Just make sure that they're cooked. Then we'll put in this marinated chicken or whatever meat you are going for. And just, cook this through till it's, almost done. Because I've finely sliced this chicken, isn't going to take very long at all. Literally just took, a matter of minutes until you could see that the moisture had evaporated and it started to take on a bit of colour. But again, that's not really that essential. So now we're hitting it with the flavour. A little bit of garlic, great some in there. However much you like, if you like 3-4 cloves, go for it. I just went with a single clove there, and just make sure it's got a little bit of cooking for like 30 seconds before you pour in this sauce. Now here you want to make sure that your pan is not, roasting hot, because otherwise, your sauce will just completely evaporate. So if it is too hot, just drop it down a level. before you put in the bean sprouts. Now you want a minimum of 25% ratio of bean sprouts to noodles, maybe a little bit higher, but go with your preference. As you can see here, I threw in the spring onions now, just so they get a minute or so's cooking. Once I've mixed that through, you can see that I'm putting in these noodles. Now, as I said, these noodles are pretty much done. They just need to be warmed through. So once you've separated them, mix them in. Make sure they get all coated in the sauce. And you can see like this was just literally 30 seconds later. A minute later. But if you want to use different types of noodles, make sure you obviously cook them first and then put them into your pan. Now this is the magic here. So you can see that what I did was I poured a little gap in the pan in the middle, put everything to the side, and then I poured in a beaten egg. And you can see this is actually real time. So I poured in the beaten egg and I am mixing it through, and it's kind of scrambling, cooking. Now you don't want it to go like an omelette and get stuck. You want it to be still, a little bit loose. And then once you can see that it's like, maybe 80% done, start mixing it through, okay? Now the pan's hot, the noodles, the chicken, all that is hot. It's going to finish cooking, but it's not going to allow it to be like chunky omelette egg. It's just going to mix through, which is just going to give you some nice little extra tasty bits when you're eating this pad thai. So it's now ready for the plating up. So we've got our fancy bowl here, and we're going to just tip all of that good stuff into the bowl. No messing about. Come on, mate, get it in there. Once it's there, we can start the garnishing. I don't know why it took me so long to pour that. It wasn't really much there. But anyway, so we've got that there. And we're going to get some lime. So we've got some lime. We're just going to squeeze a little bit over the top, just add a bit of freshness before chucking on, a couple of wedges. You might want a little bit extra once you start tucking in, or you just might want to be fancy and show that you've got a lime. So now you've got the nuts. So sprinkle that over your pad thai, cake it in the nuts if you like, and it's done. Look at that, it looks bloody great. So off to the big fella to have the old taste test. Right then, that was pad thai. Fantastic little recipe. I hope that you agree. If you do, let me know in the comments. Maybe not 100% authentic, but this is what we can do at home, and trust me, it tastes absolutely fantastic. The flavors that you get, so much better than the packet if you get it from the supermarket. So it's well worth attempting this at home. Super quick. Only took like 25 minutes, if that. And I've got a fantastic meal there that touches and hits all the notes. Absolutely brilliant. The chicken, the noodles, well worth having a go. So let me know what you think below. We'll see you for another one real soon.